Hello and welcome to Artemis's Apothecary. I'm Sasha Collin and today is cowslip identification. So I'm going to take you out into the garden in a minute and show you a cowslip that I've got growing on my lawn, and I can tell you a little bit about it and how to identify it. I'll also show you the grass from above so that you can just see the size of it in the grass, because that's quite useful to know. Also, the cowslip is part of the primrose family, the same family as the primrose, I should say. So I'd like to show you a primrose too, just to show the difference, because the leaves, especially when it starts to grow, are almost identical. The cowslip leaves are just slightly more broader, sort of, and short when they're full-sized, but I'll show you that once we're outside. Primrose and cowslip are sort of the two flowers which I always used to get confused by. It's called one a cowslip, the other a primrose, and just get completely confused, so they are good to compare the two. The other thing is, if you would like to go and look for one, the best place to head to would be the sort of woodlands or on a sloping meadow. They love growing anywhere sort of in the shady places, under trees or on meadowland. They love that too. I used to find a lot by the ditches, sort of on the banks at the side of the roads, especially over here in France. I see them all the time, but they are in decline in the UK, so they're a bit harder to find. You need to be sort of a bit more, you need to either be very lucky or a bit more in the kind of countryside. Okay, let's go and have a look. Okay, I'm outside now in the garden and I can see my little cowslip in the grass. I wondered if you could see it. It's very small. You can see around the sides of the trees and there's some houses in the distance. So I'll just walk towards it, and all these little white dots on the grass are all daisies. So I will get a bit closer and show you the cowslip. Right, I'm a little bit closer now. I don't know if you can see it there in the grass. It's the tiny yellow flowers that you can see there in front of me. I'm just staying still so you can have a little look, and I'll go closer now and show you a bit more. Hi there. Okay, here we can see we've got the cowslip. Don't know if you'd spotted that in the grass. It's got lovely little yellow flowers and it's got leaves at the bottom here. And you can see more clearly on this one actually, which is near you here on the screen. So the cowslip leaves, as you can see, are very similar to that of the primrose. They are much shorter though and rounder, whereas the primrose ones are much rounder and longer. And the cowslip leaves sort of stick flat to the ground in a circular shape. It's called a rosette. So that's the difference between the leaves of the cowslip and the leaves of the primrose. The little flowers here are on a stem. The stem is not really that furry. It's much less furry than that of the primrose. The cowslip stem is quite hairless. It's soft and a little, it's got tiny, weeny little hairs, but it's not particularly hairy. And then all the little flower stems start at the top of the flower here, from one singular point. Now, the cowslip stem can be up to 25 centimetres tall, and the little tiny flowers are on little tiny stems, which all come from one point. That's the main little indication here for identifying a cowslip. The little flower heads, there can be from around 5 to 30, I think, per flower. But I have never really seen up to 30 on one flower before. Maybe not in garden. This is in our garden. Normally I find around sort of 5 to 8 on each one. This is what they look like when the flower heads have fallen out. This one's going to turn into seeds soon, and that will reseed on the ground, and they'll come up again next year. I think that's it for the flowers. The flowers are very, very tiny. They're yellow. They're all in one piece. They used to be called fairy cups because they're in a cup shape, and they're all made of one singular piece. They also had an old name called Keys of Heaven, Maiden's Keys, because they resemble a medieval set of keys. And that's pretty much everything I can tell you about the cowslip. I'll show you a little clip of the primrose too, so you can see the difference between the leaves and the flower. Okay. So, as you can see, this is the primrose. I just wanted to show you because there are some differences between the cowslip and the primrose. First of all, the flowers are completely different, but the leaves have a very similar pattern on top. But they're actually much longer and they stick up from the ground like that, whereas the cowslip leaves are much more rounder and smaller, and they sort of stick flat to the ground. The ones over there weren't completely flat, but they are more orientated towards the ground. The only other difference is that the stems of the flowers are quite downy and hairy, so that is a difference as well. I will be doing a post and a video on these soon as well, but I just wanted to point this out today to show you the differences between the primrose and the cowslip. the primrose, and the cowslip with its shorter, more stubby leaves. Thank you for watching, and I'll be doing more videos on the cowslip soon to give you the constituents within it and its actions on the body, and also to tell you a little bit about what you could do with it and do some harvesting. More videos to come also from Artemisia's apothecary on other flowers and plants in the garden this springtime.